visit. I asked her why you here, yeah. Oh, why you here? She like, boy, come here. Yes, you, yeah, come here. I'm about to show you something that you never seen out here, yeah. This the live show, this is my show. I took you around the world, yeah, I show you my flow. I can show you something that you never seen, yeah. Stack this money up until I start seeing.
This has been a journey, and I have been on the journey. And every time I come back better with more information for y'all. So we're just going to hop right into it. So I have been on this healing journey. This is probably year 2 since this. It might even be 3 years since the first time I sat down and meditated. But at the time, I wasn't really on a journey. But as I get older, I just turned 23 2 weeks ago. As I get older, I'm growing into, I'm trying to put this into words. I'm trying to put my thoughts into words. I'm growing into more of what a divine feminine woman should be, like the thought processes I have about, like, I'm around kids a lot, but which I have a niece and a nephew, so that doesn't really mean anything. Just because I'm around kids a lot doesn't mean anything. But like, I'm thinking about the way they're raised and stuff, the way I want my kids raised. November is kind of like my reset month. It's the month I turn a year older and I leave all my bullshit behind me. So this year I've been dealing with a traumatic experience since about July. So this and I'll go into that, but this year, when me turning 23, it's been all about, maybe people aren't going to like you. It's okay for people not to like you, because I think I went through the world. I was going through the universe in this kind of delusion that everybody's going to like you, especially women, that you can make friends with women and they're not going to be jealous. Like, every woman who not pretends to be, but shows interest in you and what you're doing, and you as a woman have positive intentions for you. And I had to learn that the hard way. I know in one of my previous videos, I did like a story time about some girl. She used to be my friend. I really am more conscious about how I use that word friend too. She moved into my apartment. I saw she was getting abused. She moved into my apartment, basically used me and stole from me. And even after that, it was just like, okay, well, I'm just going to assume that this is just her. Like, this isn't all women. This is just her. But then I had some more tough lessons come in. And let me just say right now, I think I'm done being in hurting relationships with, like, men. Now it seems like my lessons are about friends, because after I got done with all my hurt with men and stuff, I thought, life is going to be better, because that was one of my things that had always hurt me, like being in these relationships and not getting the love that I was deserving of. Now I'm in a new relationship, but since I've been in this relationship, even like when we were just talking before, when we were just friends, it was just like I was just losing friends, like getting stabbed in the back. It felt so bad. It felt like, I don't know, like somebody was rubbing my hand up against some wood or something. It was just a one friend argument after another. And I could never imagine being in a point in my life where my relationship is the only thing that's going right. But now it's like I'm having all these fallouts with my female friends. And that hurt more than being hurt by men, honestly, especially back to back to back to back. And that's literally how it happened. Because after the girl who's I talking about in my last video, the girl who's getting abused, after the situation with her, I think I fell out with like 2 more of my friends. Anyway, that was this is what I've been baking in, this whole thing that women are going to be jealous of you. You aren't going to have women who like you, even though you can be this bright ball of sunshine. You have to protect that. When I used to be in these Facebook groups and they would be talking about protect yourself, you never know who's watching, I would be like, you guys, you can't manifest that into your reality. And then silly me, it took my own lesson for me to come and be like, yes, see, my boyfriend got me this necklace. It's got the evil eye on it. My boyfriend got me that necklace. And I got me some protection spray from one of those bodegas. And where was I at? I was in Charlotte. I got me some protection spray because I had to learn the hard way that people will see you and they'll see you the way you look. They'll see your hair. They'll see your makeup. They'll see your lips. If they can't do that, or they feel like they want that and they can't have it, they see you in a happy relationship, everybody's not going to like you. And I don't know why I was so steadfast on trying to believe that everybody in the world was a good person. I had to learn that the hard way. I've been healing some trauma, some dirt that I've been carrying around that causes me to shoot myself in the foot. Every time I have an idea, I will shoot it down. So now I'm moving into this more this attitude of what did I say this morning? I said dine or be dinner, eat or be eaten. That's the kind of world we're living in right now. If you don't take care of you, nobody else is. I promise you that. Nobody else is if you don't take care of you. I'm living in a space. I moved back in with my parents a few months ago after this experience happened with my roommate. I'm going to make a story time on her, but I don't feel like she belongs in this video right now. This is going to be me connecting with my followers. I hope I don't look too whack, y'all, because I'm in my car, and I'm going to get into the reason why I'm in my car. So, yeah, I moved back home, and I knew I was going to have to deal with things that, you don't want to deal with when you live with your parents, because I chose to move back home. I could have moved back into my other apartment, but Lonnie didn't want to work anymore. Lonnie wanted to be an entrepreneur. Lonnie didn't want to be an employee, and I guess I am the spoiled second child because my mom let me come home with no questions asked. Now, I knew I was going to have to abide by her rules and stuff, but I didn't predict to be as agitated as I do get. So I am my grandpa, thankfully, thank God for grandpa. He left us another house across town. So there's 2 houses in this city that I'm in. I'm in a small town. And so I think I'm going to move in there. It wasn't, I don't know. I think I just made another because maybe I was being stubborn when I decided to move out of my apartment and be like, well, I don't want to work anymore. I shouldn't have to work anymore. But we are going to be, I'm projecting to move out, or I'm predicting to move out by next spring so I can have my own garden and everything, because I do miss having my own space. But I was living in an apartment with a roommate, and like I said, I want to put her story on a separate story, but this was the girl who made me realize the hardest, because she hurt me the most. This was the one who made me realize the hardest. This was the last lesson that I had to learn. Like, yeah, these bitches will pretend to like you. They'll pretend to love you. They'll pretend to be your friend, be happy for you, and the whole time hate you. So, as I say, I made a bad decision. I don't want to say I made a bad decision because I was kind of forced back home. I was kind of put back in the situation. I think it's because my grandpa passed away back in 2008. He has a house over here, and when me and my sister went off to college, my mom moved over to my grandma's house. So the house had a leak in the roof, and now the house smells like mildew. The house needs some repairs. It's a real fix-me-upper. So if I do move into that house, I will be doing a whole fix-me-upper thing. This is what I mean about the whole divine feminine connection, because now I have so many duties that I have to take care of. Like, I'm an auntie. I have to make sure these kids, because sometimes I feel like these kids are seeing stuff that they don't need to see. Like, they're having too much screen time. I don't feel like I don't like to police nobody's parenting, but these kids could use a little bit more discipline, a little bit more hugs, and less of get this, I'll just give you this and get out of my face. These kids need a little bit more talking to, a little bit more importance on teaching them the importance of stuff in life, like the importance of notification. I lost my train of thought. But like the importance of money. They are very spoiled. They're handed everything. And because of that, like, they act like everybody should just give them something for nothing. And it used to be like I hadn't been around the kids continuously since, because like I said, I haven't been home. I haven't lived at home in the past, like consistently for the past 4 years. I haven't lived at home, so I couldn't see the kids but every so often. So I never saw how they truly acted. But it's like now they act like everybody's supposed to give them something for nothing. But you can't just blame the kid on that. Why do they think like that? Why do these kids believe that everybody's just supposed to do something for them? I went to this restaurant the other day, and I got a cheeseburger. So I was talking to my niece. I was like, yeah, I had a cheeseburger the other day. And she's like, and you didn't bring me any? And I'm like, girl, I was just getting lunch. Like, why do I have to, like, the way they act like I'm, everywhere I go, everywhere I spend money at, they're supposed to get something. And I feel like that's something that's been learned inside of them that they need to unlearn very quickly. So that's just one of my duties that I do. Second of all, I am working on my online business. I have been revamping my website, restocking all my crystals. I'm coming out with a new ebook. So I have been round the block traveling. I just got back from North Carolina for my birthday. That was a good time. We booked the Airbnb, and even You know, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that these videos need to be added into separate videos, because a lot has happened. And this is just this past month, but a lot has happened. I am on this divine, healing, feminine journey. I feel like a woman. I feel like I have, like, you know, like Goddess Kali, how she has like 8 arms and she's just doing so much stuff. And before I made this video, like, I'm coming back to YouTube. This is another thing that I'm trying to do. It's like I got another arm coming out for YouTube. I think that's what being divine feminine is, like realizing that you have something to offer. You have something that you need to do every day. Making jewelry. I've been making jewelry. I bought some new makeup. I've been doing my makeup. Like, I'm really just trying to step into the character who I want to be every day. Like that person, I got this new robe for my birthday. My boyfriend took me on this huge shopping spree. So I think I do need to go, because this is a boyfriend that I had manifested. And after I manifested the relationship that I wanted, like I said, all my friends started falling out. So I couldn't even focus on how good of a man I had until all these friends had fallen off, and now I could actually be like, hey, this actually might be somebody who's good for me. And I have never had that, you know. I'm 23 years old. I've never been in a relationship that wasn't abusive in some way, shape, or form. And I couldn't before, I couldn't feel how good I had it. So that's one thing I am starting to express more gratitude for. Like, I have this man who has made me, I guess, awaken the fire of love that had been killed, because I was one of those women who was just like, niggas ain't shit. They ain't gonna do nothing for me. They can't do nothing for me. Until I started to change my thought patterns, and then all out of a blue, he was my friend at first, but now he's my boyfriend, and everything with us has been stellar, to say the least. I mean, so many instances and experiences that you can obviously see have came from me actually manifesting and telling myself I deserve a good relationship. This is the kind of relationship I want. And then having this man come, and now we're having these experiences that are out of this world, things that I can't even put into words of how they happen or what they have, why they happened. So that has been something good that I've also been working on. So just all these projects and this new boyfriend and these duties that I'm having to take care of around the house now that I'm living back with my mom and my grandma. My mom is 63, my grandma is 93. So there is a lot of things that they can't do that I have to help them do. And I would be happy to do it. I am happy to do it. I'm not going to sit here and let my mom, who's almost 65 years old, be in here struggling. Like, I'll take the trash out, I'll do the dishes, I'll clean the bathroom, I'll clean the living room. I don't mind doing any of that. But one thing I will say is sometimes when I'm going through my own depression, I have not let myself be depressed or anxious. I always try to force those words out of my mind when it comes to myself. I'm like, no, I can never be depressed. I can never be anxious about anything. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, I like to help around the house. Just making sure that they're not putting themselves out. But like I said, when I am going through my own bouts of depression, sometimes it makes it worse when I come in or when I go to the kitchen to make breakfast and there's a sink full of dishes. That kind of makes it worse, because I won't eat. I'll go back to my bed. Because that's one thing I always try to do since I have moved back home. I don't really have, well, I do have my own space, but there's not much privacy. I don't know what to say. Like, there is privacy, but that's why I'm in the car. If I were to be making this video inside the house, somebody would peek their head in or ask me what I'm doing or what I'm talking about. So I do have my own office in the house. I do have my own room, and I try to make sure that those rooms are Lonnie standards. That's somewhere I can be where I feel like I have nowhere I can be. So I always try to keep those rooms clean. But as I said before, waking up and I see a sink full of dirty dishes, I'm going to be turned off. If I wake up and I have to go to the bathroom and the bathroom's dirty, I'm going to be kind of turned off by it. So that's another reason why I want to be in my own house, so I can if if I don't want to wake up to dirty dishes, I can wash the dishes that night. But like I said, I guess I'm getting stuttered up on this because I feel like the work should be divided evenly. And since I moved back in with my mom and I do these things willingly, somehow she has made it my job to do it. Even though there's 3 of us that live here, I don't mind doing the dishes every night. But that was when I was living on my own and I only had to do my own dishes. Now, doing the dishes every night for 3 people is kind of heavy. You know, like if I'm not feeling that good that day, I probably am not going to want to wash a sink full of dishes. So being on my own would mean that every mess that's in the house will be my mess. So I would be less depressed looking at it, I guess. I don't know. Another thing that I keep saying another thing because there's so many things that just keep coming. I have been doing a lot of ancestral healing, I guess, trying to understand what my ancestors went through, trying to understand why there are so many things happening in my family, why the patterns I'm seeing. And definitely there is one in this, I guess this, I don't know what you would call it, a triad. I remember I was listening to the Divine Feminine podcast one day, and it said in traditional African households, this is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a grandmother, the mother, and then the child, which would be me. So this is technically how it's all supposed to be lined up. I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, but like I was saying about the trauma and stuff, like my mom, she didn't have a good relationship with her mom. Now growing up, my mom, she made sure me and my sister had everything. We never had to go without. Even if she had to go without, she always made sure that we had everything. Now I will say, since I am an adult, I don't think my mom ever let me grow out of being her baby. Like if I'm anything that I do that might trigger something that, hey, did I raise you to do something like this? Or because sometimes we have conversations about my hair, which kind of upset me. My grandma actually asked me the other day, she said, aren't you ashamed to go to work sometimes and have your wig on, and then sometimes to not have your wig on? This is me without my wig. This is the hair that grows out of my head. I don't think I could ever be ashamed to go anywhere like this. Like, honestly, this looks bomb. But it did kind of hurt my feelings, even though I can look at myself and say, I like my hair, but why would you even say that to me? I'm your granddaughter, you know? So that's another thing that I'm going back to with these kids. And I can also see some patterns with my mom, like stuff that she would say back in the day, or like stuff that she says to my niece and nephew can bring me back to something that happened to me when I was a kid, and I can better understand and, hey, like, you know, and try to tweak what the outcome is. I guess I could say that. Try to tweak the outcome, or try to sway. A lot of times I will try to put, like, not nitpick, but I will, it's because it's not nitpicking. Like, I just tell my mom, hey, you shouldn't say things like that. This was my niece's 13. My mom said something along the lines of she was filling out real nice. I'm like, come on now, she's 12. She still plays with rubber band bracelets and stuff like that. Don't be telling her she's filling out. That just kind of made me mad. And I try so hard to come at her very nicely, but everything I say is she does not agree with. She thinks I'm against her. So that's what I mean when I say she hasn't let me grow out of being a baby. Anything that I have an opinion on that she doesn't agree with is wrong. If my opinion doesn't align with hers or the way she thinks she's raised me, it's wrong. But what she fails to realize is the woman who I am today, she raised me. The woman I am today, you raised me. My mom admires me, but I don't think she quite understands. Like I said, she's 63, so I don't think she quite understands how YouTube works, how online marketing works, how online businesses work. Because she'll make a whole lot of slick comments too about how I do nothing all day because I'm on my iPad. But little do you know, I'm building a whole website. So I'm letting these things roll down my back. And I feel like I'm getting so much further in life by letting these things roll down my back. About the comments about my hair, I'm just letting it all roll down my back. But now I see what I have to do here. And I can't, like, I really don't mind living here, but I think I do need to be in my own house. So there is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that I need to go into, and I need to go ahead and just put the hard hat on and the gloves and just go in there, because I will not lie, I have been procrastinating so hard on trying to get this house cleaned up, because every time I go in there, my nose starts running. I just really don't like dirty work at all. I'm taking off my nails so I can get to work. That's why they're only half on. I was cute for my birthday, y'all. But that's where I'm at on this healing journey. Let me get some sunlight. Just a whole lot of being super black woman. I'll say that. Super black woman. That's what all black women are. You're all super women. So I hope my message came out really clear today about the divine feminine and accepting that you might have all of these things to do. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed by it, because you are more than capable of handling it. all of these things, these little things you do, even if you feel like you do something little each day, if you dabble into a little each day, if every day you wake up and you meditate and you're just trying to be a better mom and you sit there for 10 minutes, that's all you had to do for the day. And then you take care of the rest of your day. That's all you needed to do. And that's what I've been working on. Also, giving myself space to grow and not feeling like, because last year you couldn't tell me how to input a HTML anywhere. I wouldn't have known how to do that. But this year I know, like, I needed those baby steps in order for me to be able to redesign my website in 2 days, because it took me 4 months to build the website. Redid it, took the whole thing down, put it back up in 2 days. Now I'm just importing the products back on there so I can actually launch a new website, and it's going to be more Auntie Lonnie centered, so that way I can plug in my blog. I did make this new self-help journal, which has been helping me a lot. Writing the journal has actually brought me here. It's been a lot of things that I can expel. Even if I don't write in the journal, reading and answering the questions in my head, like, how would I want my ideal customer to answer this question? Going along with that in my head, it has really done a lot for me, a lot more than I thought about. Because one of the questions in there is like, what are you in denial about? And I didn't want to answer the question, but I ended up answering the question anyway. So doing a lot of this stuff and just juggling and balancing everything. If you feel like you are in water that's up to your neck, I promise you, you are not going to drown. You just got to keep your head up, because you got 7 other legs, 7 other arms that's in there paddling with you. But yeah, I think this video has been about 22 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, because I know my mama in there being nosy, probably wondering what I'm out here doing. Think I'm out here smoking weed. So I'm going to go ahead, log off, get this edited. I'm going to post it. And I'm not going to make any promises, but you will see me again. Bye, guys.